Oklahoma is known for its hot summers, but we have our occasional snowstorm as well. And that's when ODOT trucks are equipped with an important attachment, the snowplow. First, let's look at how to attach it. With the help of a spotter, pull your truck up to the plow. Drive slowly and align the truck with the center of the plow frame. If the plow is stored on blocks, chances are the frame lines up pretty closely with the attachment hitch of the truck. Unlike the traditional snowplow, the newer directional plows don't have holes on the frame. Instead, they have a spring-loaded dog latch mechanism. As soon as the truck goes past the latch, the plow is connected to the hitch. To release the plow, simply pull the lever to raise the latch. Next, hook up the lift chain to the plow hoist. When you're finished, connect the hydraulic lines to the truck. On older models, you only have one line to raise or lower the plow. On newer model hitches, there are two hydraulic lines, one to raise and lower the plow, the other to adjust the angle of the plow. Turning the plow with the new directional plows is as easy as lifting a finger. Simply push a button and the plow will change its angle. As a driver, how do you determine the angle of the snowplow? The angle should always be as shallow as the conditions allow. The greater the angle, the smaller the snowplow lane. Light and dry snow requires a shallow angle, but wet and heavy snow requires a short angle. And make sure that the angle is not so sharp that it fails to clear the path of your truck tires. When it's time to hit the road, here are a few safety tips to remember. Always respect and never exceed the appropriate speeds for the equipment you're using under the conditions that you're in. Make sure that you're using all the available safety devices, such as the stay back sign, flashing and hazard lights, and be aware of obstructions both on and off the road. Always plow in the direction of traffic and be wary of drivers behind you because it's not unusual to be rear-ended. If the truck skids, steer into the skid until you can regain control. Then steer back into the driving lane and continue. Always have protective clothing on hand, especially gloves. Outer clothing that repels wind and moisture, a face helmet, head and ear coverings, 2 pairs of socks and boots are a necessity when you're on the road during severe winter weather conditions. Also, be familiar with the symptoms of cold exposure and frostbite, and have a container of hot, non-alcoholic liquid on hand. It's also important to carry emergency equipment with you, such as flares or reflectors, a first aid kit, a fire extinguisher, and a flashlight. Finally, double-check your two-way radio. It might be your only way to communicate during severe weather. When it's time to make the blade touch the road, carefully lower the blade until it touches the pavement, then raise it slightly to a maximum of 1 inch above the ground. Next, turn on all the safety warning lights. Plow from the center line out to the shoulder while keeping an eye on oncoming traffic. Plow to the low side of the ramps or curves whenever you can. If you plow to the high side, eventually the snow will melt and run across the highway where it can ice over. Finally, try to plow away from the wind as not to endanger yourself or others.